Hey there, folks. So I'm here, got some kits that I have ordered in and that we're gonna do a review of, and so this will be the first in a series. So what we have here is this is actually the original prototype Protege. Caleb, hold yours up. Let him see yours. He's got the Super Protege Mark 1, which had winglets. And he's got the Protege that we built for the video that's missing its rudder, all that jazz. Pretty durable airplanes, been doing good in competition. But they're not the only ones on the market. And this is not meant as a comparison of ours against theirs. It's just, you know, what's out there so you can make some good decisions. So this is the Scholastic Catapult Glider by Retro RC. Let's see right there. They definitely have pretty cool packaging. Gotta be honest, I'm kind of envious of their packaging. So, if I'm not mistaken, this design actually is a former national champion from way back when. And I believe it's based off of the... Really, Caleb? It's based off of the Feather Shooter by Bob Bienenstein. There we go. Very good free fighter, and the provenance of that design goes way on back, and I think ends up at Lee Hines' doorstep. But anyway, with all that said, let's take a look at what's in here. So I'm gonna just bring you in here so you can take a look at this, because you need to see this rather than what I've got. So we've got two fuselages here. These look to be, I guess that's 3/32 balsa. I'm going to snip these out of here. And like I said, packaging on these is pretty nice. Good density selection on the wood. Hope it's trying to break my viewfinder, so I can't even see what I'm doing here. Set that aside. We'll open up the instructions here in a minute. Yeah, they packaged these up nicely, I gotta be honest. So, I wonder how dirty of a look my wife would give me if I said, we should start packaging ours like this. She did give me a look. I have no idea what this is, but it's a stripped piece of wood. Set that right there. You've got the little engraved catapult hooks, pretty cool. Tail surfaces look pretty nice. Got two sets of tail surfaces. So one looks to be sea grain, the other is not. I have not done a whole lot of effort to try to select grain for the kits that we make, so I'm not going to make any comment there. Personally, I don't think it makes a huge difference. They do give you 3 pylons, and if you look real closely, they're airfoiled. And then we've got the wings, which are 1/32 balsa. That one's stamped with the logo. You've got a dihedral cut line here. And there are actually 3 wings, and now that's the nice wood right there. That's the one you'd want to save. So, and they've got a bunch of jigs over here. I seriously thought about putting a lot of jigs in our kits, but frankly I haven't found a huge need for them. They do, I mean, they look cool. They look very cool. So this one has actually a little measurement tool on it. Again, I have no idea what all these do. We'll find out soon enough. I believe those are dihedral gauges, something like that. Alright, so and then you've got a block of wood. Oh, that's a sanding block, okay. And you've got a strip of wood for something, and you've got your catapult handle and some thin rubber for your catapult. We'll open all that up later. Nice thick instruction sheet. Mind you, there is not a build video for these, so bear that in mind. So these are officially under the brand of Campbell's Custom Kits, which is owned by Retro RC. And they go through all the specs and whatnot. I'm not going to walk you through the whole build video or what have you for this. We'll just kind of talk about some of the goings on once I dig into this. Very nice detailed instructions though. And then, so we have made it to not even the halfway mark in here, and we're to the trimming and test flying by Chuck Marcos, which that's pretty good credentials to it right there, because Chuck is a very successful flyer. And so he goes through all the details there, which that's good to see, because if you don't have a video for that, that's something that needs to be done in great detail. Now we're at the plans here. So the plans look pretty nice. CAD plans, very detailed. This one shows so this aircraft is set up for a removable wing. I personally don't like removable wings on small flapped gliders. However, I recognize that there's a method to that. And more instructions and whatnot. So, oh, a glossary of terms. Now that's pretty good. It's probably something we should do at some point. But anyway, there's, you know, about 10 pages when you count front and back of instructions for how to fly these. So that's pretty good. We'll come back onto me here. So anyway, we'll come back once I have gotten part of the way through building out one of these, and we'll see where we are from there. Okay, so I've got some of the jigs built, and I'm going to turn you down here so you can see what they look like. So they have you build this dihedral jig thing. It's got a little bit of camber in here. Very cool little jig, plywood and whatnot. The instructions were a little muddy in a couple places. I mean, the photos are good, but it did take me a little bit of a moment to figure out what was going on there. They have you create this sanding block. I think I know how this is going to go. I'm not sure. Not necessarily a fan. I understand why to do this. I just think it's a pain in the neck. Not the construction of this, but how it ends up, because I think you end up setting your wing in here and sanding across there. Mind you, lots of people do that. I just prefer not to. This is a little glider balancer like ours. The one thing I don't like is, I mean, this is 1/8 inch plywood, and you have to sand the bevel in this. I'm not so sure middle schoolers do that great at that. Just my opinion on it. I think this should have just been like 1/32 ply. This part. That's just me. And then you've got a dihedral measuring gauge. I believe that's what it is. Now they say to sand the laser burn marks off of everything because it'll leave, quote, unsightly marks on your plane. Well, yeah, it kind of will, but it's a contest ship. Just saying. Just my take on it. Anyway, we'll be back when I start building it. Okay, so I've got the fuselage assembled. So they have you attach the plywood bracing up here. If I'd been smart, I would have seen that there was a mirror one, so I could have RRC on both sides. Oh well. They tell you to sand the top of the fuselage except for where the wing mounts and whatnot. Well, the wing kind of is on a sliding mount type thing. Whatever. Couple things. They don't really go into detail about sanding the tail down. Look, if you've got a fairly long tail, as this one does, you need to sand the tail surfaces down big time to get rid of lots of weight. Especially, I mean, the other pair look like they're fairly light wood, but this is, it's all right. And so you need to get rid of that weight. And I mean, I've sanded this pretty heavily, and I still feel like it's too heavy. They have you glue the fin directly on the top, and they talk about shimming it and whatnot, and not really necessary. Besides, I don't like it glued to the top. Glue your fin to the right side, so you can turn it right, unless you're left-handed, so you can let it turn left. Just my 2 cents again. Let's see, is that ever? Oh, and they also say to put stab tilt in it. Flapped gliders don't put stab tilt in them. Just saying. Bill Gowan says so. I don't argue with Bill Gowan. Back once we get wings in gear. I forgot to add one thing. They say to attach stuff with Duco and whatnot, and they say to attach the stab with Duco and then tape it in place. I can't do that. I'm just going to say, I could not get that to work. I didn't try it, but I've tried stuff like that, and that does not work for me. It might work for you, but just my 2 cents. And of course I'm assembling with CA anyway because I'm a cheetah. Okay, I am going to show this part. So I've got the wing split apart now. I sanded the top of the wing a little bit, not a whole lot. Really, you should do that. The instructions don't even mention it as far as I've seen. And you would have to do it before this next step anyway. But what I'm going to show you is, so they say to tape the wing down. I'm not gonna. And this isn't a bad idea. Basically, we're undercambering the wing by having it on this curved gauge, and then you take your sandpaper and you sand this like so. I can't remember if they say to do. Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, you do want to do this on both wings. And for good or for bad, there is a J&H Aerospace kit that will be coming out sometime later this year that's going to require us to have some sort of gauge like this in it. Actually, we're going to cheat. We're going to do it a different way through the modern wonders of laser technology. But if you're wanting to do undercambered wings like this, there is kind of some merit to it. Alright, so there you go. Now, they say slide the wing in 18 millimeters and all that jazz. I'm not going to do that. I am, though, going to follow their little instruction. We need to have some parchment paper under here because we're going to put glue on this. And a smart person would tape this. I'm not gonna. So what we're looking for is to have this far enough up there that it's level with the top of that. Like so. Excuse the, Paul's just excited. And so now we're going to put glue here. We'll have this guy out here like so. And this will give us fairly good lockup on our wing. It's not going to be great because I'm being super clumsy and I did not do the world's greatest job of sanding that bevel. Yeah, I can see that I didn't sand it in far enough. Oh well, that's why it's better to just have the cut in be done with a laser. And then not even sand a bevel in. But that's for another day with another glider kit for a very famous airplane. And so I've got a gap at the front and back. I'm going to eliminate that gap. very carefully by just dumping CA into it, which is a terrible method. And if the proprietors of RetroRC are watching this, they are looking at me like, what are you doing, you idiot? I'm building gliders. And since I win competitions with gliders, I can justify being a complete doofus with how I make them. But, come on. My CA hardener did not do its hardening thing that it's supposed to do. There we go. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Caleb is taunting the rooster and is kind of getting nasty results for it. I still didn't sand enough of this out here. So, anyway, sand a little away there and a little underneath. There we go. So we'll go on to the next step, which says to take one of these little guys, probably not that way because they want you to sand everything properly, and I don't do that. And then we're going to take one of these little pylon assemblies. And we're going to glue it on here, and they show doing a whole fancy to do with this. They also show it facing forward, so this thing's set up to be 0-0, which is not a true flapped glider, so some of that is justified, but these things are not capable of handling the launch speeds for high ceiling flying, so that seems kind of silly to me. That's just my take on it. Alright, so then they show you using the dihedral gauges and all that to set this. Yeah, I ain't got time for that right now. Because like I said, I got 2 other glider kits to go through after this one. So we're going to put this guy up front, lock it down here towards the back, and that's together. Yep. And then I'm going to take some of the tape that was in here because I'm a lazy bum like that. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, alright, I got it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this wing on here, and they actually show doing all this fancy pants stuff of leveling the wing on this guy. Back to the, I ain't got time for that. Alright, so ideally you would be setting this thing on its dihedral gauge and looking to make sure you're CGing correctly. One thing I see is the glider, if you're not careful, it drags the bottom there a little bit. Bottom line is we're still a little bit tail heavy according to this. And still showing tail heavy. Not surprising because there's no clay on the nose. It's not necessarily bad. However, I'm going to show why there is an issue with that in just a minute here. Because there is an issue emerging. I'm going to say that's close enough. Now, if y'all remember, I said that I sanded the tail surfaces down, and I did sand them down fairly heavily, which means that this airplane has much less weight on its tail than it would have if you had built it per the instructions. So, why is that an issue? Well, it's an issue because I have the wing pushed as far back as it is designed to possibly go. And I actually have it pushed back slightly further because there is a downward bevel that starts right here in the fuselage, and so I've got the back of my wing mount actually past that point, and that's kind of a problem. Now, I can get this to come around the rest of the way. And there we go. They talk about the fact that this thing is trimmed for 0-0, and like I said, I have issues with doing that on a low ceiling glider. I think it's setting you up for a kind of difficult time of it, but I understand that was the conventional wisdom back when, whatever. And you can shim the wing up and down to set your stab instruments. I may try doing that. We'll see. But anyway, we'll go outside and we'll try flying it for a few minutes. It's windy, so it's not going to go well, but hey. Okay, so we're out here with this Scholastic Glider, and I haven't done any flying of it. It's windy, so not going to go super well, but that's not half bad. Caleb, don't you go running off with my plane. Alright, so I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed. It doesn't fly like it's trim neutral. Let's go back this way so I can... Okay, so I do see one thing right off, and that is that the curvature here, stop it, seriously. The curvature here has kind of disappeared out there, so we actually have wash-in out there. That's why this thing's flying 0-0. It's not actually. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to give it a hard toss.
I'll go blow high.
Okay.
I'm do that. There's also the pud in the pot.
We can talk about that in a little bit. Alright, so what I saw there is it looks good, except it's not turning. So we're going to...
Not turning a hole.
So I'm going to bend this little tab over, and it has... You're going to have to glue this tab, is the bottom line. Because that's not really where I want to be. Alright, let's try this again. And still...
Hey, he could probably fly better than you.
Okay, so I'm going to actually start wrenching on this rudder proper like that.
Also bullet butt.
Caleb. There we go. That's what we want to see. Except without the, oh, that was awkward.
See, Daddy.
Alright, so, I'm actually going to give it a little more rudder. And then I'm going to try to get away with washing out the left wing. You gotta be careful about that because this is kind of flexy out here, so, you know. Alright. And that was terrible technique. Alright, let's try again. There we go.
I want my plane.
That flies pretty good.
Donk.
Alright. Alright, haven't weighed it, so we'll, you know, that's kind of also a factor. Does fly well, especially considering the conditions out here. We'll try and get a little bit of indoor footage on Saturday and let her rip on that. So anyway, good quality airplane. The price for the kit's not bad. Builds 2 airplanes, and actually you've got 3 wings. So yeah, well, it looks, you know, like I said, I have a few disagreements with how to trim it out and whatnot, but I've not put any ballast on it or anything, and it seems to be all right. So we'll see you when I get some indoor footage.